You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans. Next week, we are going to see Hope Logan transformed into someone entirely different, someone like we've really never seen before. And this new look and new attitude has me wondering whether Ridge Forrester might be right, and she really has lured and ruined Carter Walton. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's talk about this twisted new version of Hope. But if you are not following us, please click subscribe. All right, let's just dive into this. So this past week, I really enjoyed a good bit of the dialogue that Ridge has had. Usually he annoys me, honestly, because he'll stand there and just let things happen around him, and he's such a waffler that he doesn't take a stand, or he's sending, mixed signals to Taylor, or standing there and letting Brooke or letting Steffi rant about each other like he's got no opinion and is too scared to man up and take sides. This week, though, when Brooke Logan came in trying to protect Hope by throwing Carter under the bus, Ridge wasn't having it. And he definitely didn't appreciate it when Brooke dared to say that Carter and Hope were basically forced to pursue revenge because Steffi did Hope dirty by firing her. And that kind of pushed Ridge too far. Basically, Brooke thought when she explained that Hope wasn't making a play for Finn because she was in lingerie for Carter, Brooke seemed to think that that explained everything and that completely undid Steffi's reason for firing Hope. And I guess Brooke just thought they could have a redo, like a mulligan in golf, bring back Hope, bring back her line. Ridge can tell Steffi she's wrong and just, forget the whole Carter and Hope plotting a coup thing. Only it didn't go that way. Ridge told Brooke that Carter made a career-ending move because he had the hots for Hope. And then Ridge called Carter a traitor in front of Brooke. So by the time she trotted out of there, I think Ridge's words had Brooke convinced that Carter would be taking the fall for all of this. But then when we saw Ridge confronting Carter, oh my gosh, Ridge said some shocking things that I think would have made Brooke's head explode if she were in the room. And I'm guessing Carter's going to tell Hope what was said, who will probably turn around and tell Brooke the very harsh things her boyfriend Ridge said about her daughter. I mean, I think it would be great if Ridge told Brooke right to her face what he thinks about Hope, but I don't think he's got the stones to do that. So if you watch the most recent Bold episode, you'll know this already. If you haven't seen it or just forgot how harsh his words were, let me remind you. Ridge said that Hope is using Carter and then told him that he thinks the COO betrayed Ridge because Steffi was mean to his new girlfriend. I mean, he was kind of, Ridge was just mocking Carter at that point, like, oh, was she mean to your new girlfriend? It was like that. It was very interesting. And then, Ridge listened to Carter saying that fighting for Hope was worthy, but Ridge said none of what you're doing is worthy. And then what was wild to me was Ridge said that Hope used Liam, Thomas, and now Carter. Now, I know some people aren't going to want to hear this, but I can kind of see Hope used Thomas not only as her rebound guy, but as the guy who kept her fashion line at the top of the sales charts. But then it looks like, barring any evidence to the contrary, that B&B has written Matt Atkinson out of the show. So, whether she used him or not, it's kind of a moot point. I think what Ridge is more upset about is that he doesn't get to see Thomas or Douglas daily like he once did. But I mean, really blame Brad Bell for that, not Hope, right? Because that was definitely a write out. As for Hope using Liam, unless Ridge is trying to imply that she was somehow using Liam to get back at Steffi, that doesn't resonate as true to me. That feels like sloppy writing, them trying to redo history, in my opinion. But now let's talk about Carter. He's worked for a little more than a decade with the Forresters, and he's Ridge's best friend, as Carter keeps reminding him while simultaneously trying to use that friendship to manipulate Ridge. And Ridge really, really seems to think that Hope has ruined Carter, that she has gotten her hooks into him, got him to betray Ridge, betray Eric, and put his career at risk because she's sleeping with him. And remember, Steffi's been telling Ridge that somehow Hope got into Carter's head, and now it turns out Steffi was 100% right. Hope is in his head, in his bed, and in his heart. And we all know Carter does tend to fall in love fast. So his character and what he's doing now, other than the betrayal, but him falling head over heels, at this pace, this rapid pace, is very consistent for him. Hope, what's going on with her is not consistent with her character history. And usually I wouldn't think that Hope's capable of intentionally using someone like Ridge is accusing her of doing. But there is one reason I think that Hope could be to blame and, could be using Carter. And it's just because how fast Hope told Carter that she loves him. That seemed very out of character for her. She didn't tell Thomas she loved him until he was walking out the door to leave her after she turned down his proposal. And then she admitted she loved him and was telling other people she loved him. But now she's saying, oh, I've never had this with Carter before, and just kind of overriding that history. It's weird. And for Hope to declare she loves Carter so fast, it's pretty suspicious. And the fact that Hope tapped the brakes with Carter and said it was too fast to get intimate, but then completely changed her tune after he fought to get her job back. That's also dodgy. So basically, as soon as Hope found out Carter was going all out to get Hope for the Future rebooted and get her firing undone, she hopped in bed with Carter and told him she loved him. And that timing just is sketchy. So maybe Hope's sincere, and maybe it just looks bad. Maybe. Does she really love Carter, or is Ridge right and she's using him to get her job and her line back? I'll say this, considering how bad Carter's luck is with women, it's kind of hard to believe he just found his soulmate and they fell for each other that fast, because Hope is somebody who usually moves pretty slowly in her love life. So maybe she's using him, or playing devil's advocate, maybe she's evolving and just being more open to her feelings, following her heart, all that. Or maybe Carter is the one person who can help her get what she wants, and she's using him. Maybe Hope is not turning into her mother, Brooke, like Steffi likes to snark about. Maybe Hope is turning into someone worse, maybe into a full-fledged villain in her own right. I mean, this week when Brooke told her that they're busted, Hope was crying and acting upset. But next week, the week of December 2nd, Hope is unapologetic, all dressed in black, and telling her mom she and Carter are moving ahead with the coup. She says that Carter filed the papers and has gone to tell the Forresters. I kind of expect Hope to stride into Forrester Creations all in black, looking real badass, ready to do bad things and smirking while she does it. No guilty conscience. So is Hope to blame for all this, or is it Carter, or are these two together just the perfect storm that brings out maybe the worst in each other? I don't know. I saw a poll over on Twitter somebody had done asking, who's to blame? Are Hope and Carter equally to blame, or is it Hope or is it Carter? 85% of people said Hope and Carter are equally to blame. But then when it comes to whether it's Hope or Carter individually to blame, only 5% of people think Carter is solely to blame. But double that, 10% think Hope is solely at fault. And Ridge Forrester definitely seems to think so.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.